Yuval, I have a question.
Yuval, where were you?
No, I don't really want to. I shake too much.
How is my hair?
Looking good, looking good.
Cindy set you up.
Makeup? Do we have makeup over here?
Makeup? Okay.
No pressure.
No pressure. So first of all, looking down here, you can see an ancient olive press. The only thing missing are the four walls around. So we're looking now inside, into the building. Okay, but there were four walls. This was a closed structure. In the middle, you can see the millstone with a hole in it. So the only thing missing, it's a wooden log that was connected to it. And as they were pushing it, rolling it, with the millstone, they used to crash the olives, right? And remember, you need such a heavy stone because you want to break or to crash the pits. Because in the pits there is lye, and from the lye they were making the soap. This was a thing explained to you yesterday at the olive oil factory. So, how do you pick the olives from the tree? You need to shake it. Well, you see there is an olive tree right next to us. The olives are getting ripe end of September, October. All olives are green. If you leave them long enough on the tree, they will turn dark, black. So middle of October, they're already ripe, and that's the time that you want to pick them in order to make the oil. So you put a rug around the tree, you'll shake the tree, and the olives are falling down. You'll bring the olives to the round stone in the middle here, and with the millstone, you'll crush the olives. So that was the first step. And then those crushed olives were collected in round bags. You've seen one, right? A replica. So they used to fill in several bags with those smashed, crushed olives and to bring them to this column, right here. So to lay them one upon the other, think about just, you have to visualize it, okay, 4 or 5 bags. And then on top, a wooden log, quite long. One side of it was connected to a niche in the wall. Remember, there was a wall here. And on the other side of the log, they used to hang weights. So the log would have pressed the bags, right? Olive came out from those filters. Where to? Down to the container below. You can see it. So, but the pressing of the olives, it was done in stages. First, they used to hang one weight, so the pressure was not that hard. And the first oil that came out of the bags was the best of the best oil, and you all know the name of it, the virgin oil, the first oil. And that was the oil that was used for the temple, for the menorah. The kings were anointed with this oil. It was also the oil used for eating, for part of the diet, as a dressing to your food, to the salads. That was the best oil. When the first oil was collected, another weight was added to increase the pressure on the bags, and then more oil came out, the second oil that was collected and was used this time for healing, for making medicines, and for light. Back then, they were using oil lamps in the homes everywhere. So you saw, I guess, those ceramic candles. You had to fill them in with oil and then with the wick. That was the light back then. So that was the second oil. And then they were adding the third and the last one, weight, the final press. All that was left was already in the bags, the lye, that out of it they were making soap for cleansing. Okay, so notice 3 times the olives were pressed and they were using the oil or the products for different purposes. To such a thing, olive press that you're looking at, in Hebrew there is a name, Gat Shemanim, Gat Shemen. That's the name for olive press. It's a general name, olive press. And it should ring a bell. When I'm saying Gat Shemanim, it sounds like Gethsemane, correct. So when we say Garden of Gethsemane, what we are saying is the garden of the olive press. Garden. And the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus came to pray, was outside Jerusalem, right? Outside the the city wall, across the Kidron Valley, at the foot of a very famous mountain in Jerusalem, opposite the temple. What is the name of the mountain? Mount of Olives. Because you see, at the foot of the mountain there was a garden, not with flowers, a garden with olive trees, with thousands of olive trees, and there was the same thing over there, an olive press, kind of a factory to make oil that was used inside the city, in the temple, for the residents of Jerusalem. And we will be there, we will visit the garden. So, you all know the story well. After the Last Supper, Jesus went out of the city wall with the disciples to the garden of the olive press. He came to the garden of Gethsemane, to the garden of Gethsemanim. And it was, remember, the night before the crucifixion. He left the disciples and he went aside to pray. How many times?
3.
The olives were pressed 3 times. So we can say that at the same spot where they used to press the olives 3 times, the Lord himself was pressed 3 times. And the Bible records that he was under such stress and agony that his sweat was what? Drops of blood. And think about the symbolism here, it's very, very powerful. The first press was for what? The anointing oil. He was the anointed one. He was the Christ, the Mashiach. It means in Hebrew, when you say Mashiach, Messiah, it means the anointed one, the King of Kings. He was anointed with the oil. The second press, healing and light. He did heal the sick, and he brought the light. The people who have walked in darkness saw the great light. And then the third, cleansing. The following day, he went to Calvary, died on the cross, and washed away our sins. The soap, the cleansing. No coincidence, it's all related. Garden of Gethsemane, olive press. So remember what we see here. We won't see it in Jerusalem, but you will see the old olive trees in Jerusalem, but there was exactly such a thing there for pressing the olives. Thank you very much.